Hey, movie lovers, this is Does It Hold Up? Oscar Redux. I go back in time and I tell you which movie should have won each of the big 9 categories at each Academy Awards. We went all the way back to the year 2000 for the very first episode in this series, and we are currently up to 2009. With me, as always, is Emily, the disembodied voice. Hello, Emily.
Hello.
And we are going to get started with a little bit different of an order than you're probably used to. First up is
Best Animated Feature. The nominees this year were Bolt, Kung Fu Panda, and WALL-E. The winner? WALL-E.
The winner is WALL-E. It should be WALL-E. It was WALL-E. It will continue to be WALL-E. WALL-E is one of the best animated movies I've seen in my entire life, and I watch a crap ton of movies, animated or otherwise. This movie is so beautiful. I mean, the first 40 minutes has like no dialogue in it, a couple bleep bloops and a word here or there, but overall, it's just visuals, and they're stunning. This is one of my favorite animated movies, so the Academy got this one right. It's sticking with WALL-E.
Moving on to Writing Original. The nominees this year were Frozen River, Happy Go Lucky, In Bruges, Milk, and WALL-E. The winner? Milk.
It's not Milk. There are 2 movies on this list that are much better written than Milk. Milk is good, but it definitely didn't deserve this award. I'm kind of in a toss-up here between 2 movies. Either In Bruges, because it's an amazing movie, and I think the script is really where it stands out the most. Martin McDonagh is a great director, some great performances in it, but at its base, without that script, the movie doesn't really work. And then I'm also stuck between WALL-E. For everything I just mentioned of why it won Best Animated Feature, same reasons here, but also the idea that they can grip your attention with no dialogue for so long. And then when they do start introducing dialogue and introducing more characters, it all just plays out so perfectly. It's a really big toss-up for me here, so let me know in the comments below which one you would give it to, but right now, I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm giving it to WALL-E. Best Original Screenplay.
Next is Actor in a Supporting Role. The nominees this year were Josh Brolin from Milk, Robert Downey Jr., Tropic Thunder, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Doubt, Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight, and Michael Shannon, Revolutionary Road. The winner? Heath Ledger.
Okay. The Dark Knight is a fantastic movie. It's much more of a Joker movie than a Batman movie. And who was the Joker in that movie? Well, Heath Ledger. Do I think he deserved this award compared to these other 4 nominees? I don't know 100%. I think he was brilliant in this movie, but I do think he won this award because of a lot of the outside circumstances surrounding his performance. Obviously, the same year he won this award is the same year that the year before when this movie came out is the same year that we lost Heath Ledger, and it was a ton of hearsay of like, oh, he got so into the Joker role that it took its toll on him mentally and this and that. And regardless of what happened and why it happened, I think his premature passing did play a role in him winning this award. But that's not to say he doesn't deserve it. So I'm going to stick with Heath Ledger for Best Supporting Actor for The Dark Knight as the Joker because he's actually the only reason I think The Dark Knight works. I think anybody else maybe in this role, the movie kind of just maybe does okay. Does more Batman Begins figures rather than breaking $1 billion worldwide. So he's fantastic. If I had to do a backup here, it would be Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder, but that is a little problematic in today's age, so I'm going to stick with Heath Ledger.
Actress in a Supporting Role. The nominees were Amy Adams for Doubt, Penelope Cruz, Vicky Cristina Barcelona, Viola Davis, Doubt, Taraji P. Henson, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and Marissa Tomei, The Wrestler. The winner, Penelope Cruz for Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
I love me some Penelope Cruz. In fact, every single actress that was nominated this year, I thought absolutely crushed their roles. Doubt has 2 nominees in this category. What amazing performances across the board from that movie. But I think I'm going to give it to the outside bet here. The one that people probably don't think maybe should have won, but I do think she should. And I'm going with Marissa Tomei for The Wrestler. The Wrestler was not well represented at the Oscars this year because I don't know why. The Academy just kind of had it out for them. I don't know. But we all talk about Mickey Rourke, who will come up again later in this episode. But Marissa Tomei, excuse me, but Marissa Tomei really is a centerpiece of that movie. She is what Mickey Rourke gets to bounce off of. And every time she's on screen, step aside, Mickey Rourke. You're amazing in this movie, but she outshines you. She outclasses you. So I'm going to take it away from Penelope Cruz because I'm going to give it to Marissa Tomei for The Wrestler.
Writing adapted. The nominees this year were The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Doubt, Frost Nixon, Slumdog Millionaire, and The Reader. The winner? Slumdog Millionaire.
This is right. I don't have much to say here. Slumdog Millionaire is a brilliant movie from the ground up, and it's a very interesting script where it's not told in a chronological order, which I'm always a big fan of if you can pull it off well. And this movie does that. So, believable characters, great setting, amazing story. Yeah, it definitely deserves this win, Slumdog Millionaire.
Actor in a leading role. The nominees this year were Richard Jenkins, The Visitor, Frank Langella, Frost Nixon, Sean Penn, Milk, Brad Pitt, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and Mickey Rourke, The Wrestler. The winner? Sean Penn, Milk.
Is this one of the worst wins of all time? I think a lot of people assumed Mickey Rourke was going to win this going into the ceremony, into the awards season. He had picked up other awards along the way. Sean Penn, I feel like kind of came out of nowhere this year to steal this away. And so I'm going to do the same to him. I'm going to steal it away from him because he's good in Milk. But come on, he's definitely not the best performance of the year. That goes to Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. This was a guy whose entire career collapsed at one point. We never thought we'd see him on screen again. And he came back and he gave this heartfelt, emotional, powerhouse performance in a movie that kind of mirrored his own life in one way. And it's just beautiful. It's engaging. He is a star in this movie, a megastar. It's kind of sad that he couldn't turn it into something long term. I think doing Iron Man 2 really hurt him after doing this movie. But in this moment, he should have won Best Actor. Mickey Rourke, The Wrestler.
Actress in a leading role. The nominees were Anne Hathaway, Rachel Getting Married, Angelina Jolie, Changeling, Melissa Leo, Frozen River, Meryl Streep, Doubt, and Kate Winslet, The Reader. The winner? Kate Winslet, The Reader.
The supporting actress category this year was stacked. Every single performance was amazing. And it's no different here. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is this category right here. Kate Winslet in The Reader is phenomenal. But I'm not sure it's the one that should have won. I could probably be convinced to give it to any single one of these women for what they did in each movie respectively, but I personally am going to give it to Anne Hathaway for Rachel Getting Married because this was during a time people didn't really like Anne Hathaway, and she had a lot to prove, and she had a lot of work to do to kind of get back in the good graces of the public. And this is a very underseen movie, but this is a very powerful movie for her. This kind of took what everybody had been talking about when it came to her. She's this, she's that. And she said, no, goddammit, I'm an actor. I'm an amazing one at that. This performance is underseen, undervalued, and if you get a chance, give yourself the opportunity to go watch this movie because you're not going to be disappointed. It's a really good movie as well, and she's the force behind that. So I'm giving it to Anne Hathaway for Rachel Getting Married.
Best Directing. The nominees were Danny Boyle for Slumdog Millionaire, David Fincher, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Ron Howard, Frost Nixon, Gus Van Sant, Milk, and Stephen Daldry, The Reader. The winner? Danny Boyle, Slumdog Millionaire.
Yep. I don't really have much to say here. Danny Boyle directed the hell out of this movie, and it's amazing. It's one of the best directing performances probably of the 2000s. So Yeah, he 100% deserves this. Why would I ever take it away from him? It's Danny Boyle for Slumdog Millionaire.
And the final award of the evening goes to Best Picture. The nominees this year were The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Frost Nixon, Milk, Slumdog Millionaire, and The Reader. The winner, Slumdog Millionaire.
If you'll indulge me for just a moment, it's an embarrassment to the Academy this year. We'll get to the winner in a second, which I don't 100% disagree with, but to not have The Dark Knight nominated in this category. It's not my favorite Batman movie, but it is an important movie that is extremely well made by a very, very successful and competent director. So the fact that it didn't even get a nomination is embarrassing. It's why going forward, when we get to 2010 and beyond, there's always 10 movies nominated for Best Picture now, because the Academy knows that they fucked up. They 100% know. But the fact that they tried to fix it the next year instead of like doing the right thing this year is just insane. And I feel like that's a problem with the Academy always. They're trying to always play catch up instead of being ahead of the curve and actually doing the things that they should do. I'm not saying The Dark Knight should have won this award, but it 100% should have been nominated. With that said, Slumdog Millionaire is the right choice here. This movie works on every single level. It's completely rewatchable. We just watched it again about a year ago for our podcast, Does It Hold Up? Anywhere podcasts are available, where we watch old movies to see if they still hold up. And this movie 100% does. Performances, amazing. Setting, amazing. Cinematography, amazing. Everything about this movie is just amazing. And when it all comes together like that, it makes such a beautiful piece of artwork that you have no choice but to say, yes, it's the best picture. All right, that's it for this week. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with all the choices that I made. Would you have made different choices? And what do you think about The Dark Knight being snubbed at this Academy Awards? I'll be back again soon with another episode of Oscar Redux going to the year 2010. So like, share, subscribe so you never miss a video from us. Until next time, remember to be good to yourself, kind to others, and keep watching movies.